Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. Today I'm tying a variant on a classic wet fly pattern called the Alexandria. The hook in the vise is a Hanak H200 size 10 barbless wet fly hook, and the thread I'm using is UTC 70 in black. Now for the tail there's a couple of options. Classically, the pattern calls for dyed red feather slips from a goose or swan, but for a bit of a modern twist and also a little bit more liveliness and action in the water, I'm using some red marabou. For the body, I'm using some flat oval tinsel in silver, and I'm going to overlay that with a rib of oval silver tinsel. The hackle is a black hen hackle. This is my whiting hen cape. I love these, heavily recommended. And then for the wing, these are some peacock sword feathers. Lovely iridescence to them, and I've got a left and a right hand side here. And finally, if you're feeling a little bit fancy, you can finish off with some jungle cock eyes. So let's get started. I'm tying in my thread just behind the hook eye, and I'm making a few wraps backwards to secure. Here I'm trimming off the excess with my scissors, and I've taken a small bunch of marabou plumes, and I've trimmed the excess off the tips, just using my fingernails and pulling it off so there's no hard edges, to give a nice even tail. I'm tying this down the length of the hook shank all the way down towards the bend, and then I can trim off the excess. The next thing I'm adding in is my ribbing material, which is the oval silver tinsel. I've stripped off the metal from the ends of the core, and this just makes it a little bit thinner and easier to tie in, so I'm carrying that back towards the hook eye and spinning my thread flat. I've prepared a length of my gold and silver tinsel. This is going to make the base of the body, and the thing to remember with these double-sided tinsels is tie the side that you don't want facing outwards, providing that you're wrapping away from yourself. So here I've tied it in with the gold towards myself, because I'm going to wrap away and that'll leave the silver showing on the outside. I'm building up a little bit of a thread base just to even out the body, and then we can start wrapping the tinsel. I've cut it away because it's not very interesting to watch, but just build up a nice even body and then secure down the tinsel. We can snip away the excess, and the next job is to bring the rib up. I'm trying to make some nice even turns here to give a segmented effect on the body and protect the tinsel underneath. I've wrapped that up to where I want to finish, so now I'm making a few tight turns over the top, and we can trim away the excess. I'm spinning my thread flat here, and I'm going to tidy up a little bit at the head end, so I've got a nice firm base to wrap my hackle over. I've prepared my hackle by stripping away the butt ends, so I've got a clean bit of stem that I can tie onto the fly. I've made a wrap in front and a wrap behind, and I'm carrying the excess stem up forwards. As I'm wrapping the hackle, I'm preening the fibres backwards to make a nice umbrella-shaped wet fly hackle pointing towards the tail. I've done 2 wraps of my feather, and now I'm coming in with the thread to secure, bending over the stem and breaking away the excess. I'm just taking a second to build up a smooth thread base to tie the wing onto now. For the wing, I've used a left and a right hand side peacock sword, and as you can see I've taken about 6 fibres from each side, but I've left them attached to the stem. I've snipped them off from the bottom of the feather. I'm happy with the position, so I'm going to trim away the excess and take a second to build up a little head. Now finally, I can add in my jungle cock eyes. These aren't essential, but I do think it gives a very classic look to the fly and adds a little flash of extra colour. I'm tying them in, one on each side, making sure that they're nice and even, and then we can come in and trim away the stems. I like to clean up the head of the fly nicely because I'm going to add a varnish coat, and having a nice smooth base gives a lovely glossy finish. So making a few more thread wraps just to build up that head, get things nice and even, and then I can come in with my whip finisher and tie off. This is a very classic fly, over 100 years old, and originally it was so devastatingly effective on the fisheries that it was actually banned. It was named for Princess Alexandra, who I'm sure was delighted to have a fly named for her. And here we are still tying it today. I'm using some black lacquer just to add a little bit of gloss and a bit of durability to the head. And as you can see I've got a little bit of varnish in the hook eye. That's no problem. I'm coming in with a bit of hackle stem and clearing it out. So there you have the fly. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.